Welcome to Storycraft Portal, where we take you on journeys through stories that aren't just told, they're felt. Today, we unravel a tale that's not just about a murder, but about a life full of dreams cut short in the blink of an eye. Imagine this: a beautiful morning. A young woman sets out for a peaceful hike, unaware that it will be the last walk of her life, and her killer is lurking just a few steps behind. This isn't just a crime. It's a chilling, emotional story of fear, vulnerability, and a tragic end that shook an entire community. The desert sun rose slowly, casting a warm glow over the quiet Reach 11 hiking trail. Lauren Heike, 29, laced up her shoes, took a deep breath of the crisp morning air, and smiled at the peace that surrounded her. This trail was her escape, a place where she could clear her mind and feel connected to the world. Her footsteps were light, her heart calm, unaware that danger lurked just beyond the bend. Tall cacti stood like silent watchers as she moved forward, her phone in hand, capturing bits of nature, never imagining these would be her last memories. The trail was mostly empty that day, too quiet perhaps. Somewhere behind her, a shadow began to move, steady and patient. But Lauren, lost in her thoughts, didn't sense the presence creeping closer. What started as a normal hike was about to become a nightmare. And the desert, with all its silence, would soon echo with sorrow. As Lauren continued along the winding path, the breeze gently brushed against her face, the only sound being the soft crunch of gravel beneath her shoes. Birds chirped overhead, but something felt off, a tension in the air she couldn't quite place. Unseen, behind her, a figure emerged from the desert brush, keeping a measured distance, watching each of her steps. His pace matched hers, his presence silent but deliberate. Lauren paused to sip water, unaware of the quiet footsteps mimicking hers from afar. Her instincts whispered something was wrong, but she shook it off, convincing herself it was just her imagination. Meanwhile, the man behind her stopped every time she did, blending into the stillness like a predator stalking its prey. What he wanted, why he chose her, no one could know yet. But in those still, sunlit moments, fate had already taken its first irreversible step. Lauren moved on, her headphones now in, music filling her ears and drowning out the silence of the desert. She didn't hear the branches crack behind her or the faint shift of sand under someone's weight. Her killer, calm and calculated, studied her every move with cold precision. He had done this before, if not the act, then the watching. She stopped to tie her shoe again, and this time, a sudden chill ran down her spine. She glanced back briefly, nothing, just the open trail. But danger was closer now, just beyond sight, blending perfectly with the landscape. A breeze swept through, carrying tension in the air. A small lizard scurried past her foot, and she laughed softly, shaking her head. She had no idea her laughter was the last sound she would make. The signs were there, she just didn't know they were signs. The trail curved left, narrowing between rocks and a tall fence lined with barbed wire. Lauren slowed down, sensing the landscape was changing, less open, more confined. Her killer quickened his pace silently, knowing this was the spot. She reached a small overlook, paused to stretch, then leaned on the railing, breathing deep. Behind her, the figure crouched low, now just meters away. The wind had stilled, and even the birds seemed to disappear. Lauren turned slightly, sensing something again, but it was too late. A blur of movement, fast and brutal, and she was pulled down from behind. Her scream was cut short by a blow, then another. Her body fought, scratched, resisted, but her attacker was relentless. In seconds, the peaceful trail became a scene of violence. The killer stood over her, breathing heavily, unmoved by what he had done. The sun watched in silence, sinking slowly behind the rocks. Dust settled. The desert grew quiet once more, like it always does after a storm. Lauren's body lay still, partially hidden behind rocks and brush. Her phone, cracked and dusty, displayed the last photo she'd taken, blue sky and sunlight. Her killer, breathing heavily, looked around and quickly vanished into the desert like a ghost. Hours passed, No one came. The sun moved across the sky, shadows shifting slowly. Her mother texted, "Are you back yet?" No reply. Somewhere, sirens wailed distantly, unaware of what had happened in the heart of the trail. By evening, her body had cooled, untouched by help. It wasn't until the next morning that a hiker noticed something unusual off the path. A scream, a phone call. The silence had broken again, but this time with horror. And so, the investigation began. Not with answers, but with a question. Who could do this? The scene was sealed off, yellow tape cutting across the serenity of the trail. Detectives scanned the dirt, noting footprints, drag marks, a faint blood trail. Her phone was collected, the last photo timestamped just minutes before her death. It wasn't random, they suspected. It felt personal, deliberate. Security footage from a nearby home caught a brief figure running from the area, face hidden by shadows, but enough to raise suspicion. DNA was collected from Lauren's nails. She fought back. And nearby, caught in a tangle of barbed wire, a piece of cloth stained with blood. Investigators began to piece together her last moments, walking the path she had taken, trying to feel what she might have felt. Who was watching her? And how did he know where she would be? Every clue they found led to more questions. But in the dust and silence, the killer had left his trace. Back at the station, the footage was enhanced, and slowly, a clearer shape emerged. The gait, the clothing, it all matched someone on file. Zion William Teasley, just 22, but already a record. Robbery, assault, threats. His name had crossed desks before. What was he doing near the trail? His address, a mile from the crime scene. Detectives pulled phone records, tracking his movements that morning. He was there. Exact time. The phone pinged too close to ignore. And then came the DNA under Lauren's nails on the cloth. It all came back to him. The evidence wasn't just strong, it was loud. They had their suspect, but they still didn't know why. What motive? What drove him to such cruelty? The team read through his past. Anger, instability, isolation. He'd been watching someone, maybe not Lauren specifically, but someone. And that morning, the silence of the trail met something monstrous. On May 4th, a SWAT team surrounded an apartment less than a mile from where Lauren had died. Guns drawn, orders shouted. Zion Teasley emerged slowly, hands raised, confused, or pretending to be. His neighbors watched in shock, unaware of the man living next door. At the station, he didn't speak much. He asked for a lawyer, but his eyes showed no fear, no regret. When shown Lauren's photo, he blinked slowly and turned away. He claimed he didn't know her, but the phone data said otherwise. He had followed her for over 15 minutes. His prints matched the barbed wire. The scratches on his arms lined with Lauren's DNA. The mask of innocence was slipping. And now, in a cold interrogation room, he sat in silence, while outside, a family mourned and a city searched for peace. Justice had found its direction, but not yet its end. The trial began with a packed courtroom. Media, family, strangers drawn by the brutality of it all. Lauren's mother took the stand first, her voice trembling but strong. She described Lauren's love for life, for nature, for helping others. Across the room, Zion sat still, emotionless. The prosecutors built their case with chilling clarity. GPS data, DNA, surveillance footage, witness timelines. The defense tried to suggest mistaken identity, but the evidence screamed otherwise. Photos were shown of Lauren's final moments, the scene, the wounds. The jury winced. Her voice, once full of laughter, now echoed only in memories. And though Zion never confessed, his silence was louder than any words. The judge's eyes, heavy with sorrow, watched each moment closely. No one walked out the same. The crime was real. The pain was permanent. But the pursuit of justice gave the family one thing back: power in the face of tragedy. The verdict came after 3 days of deliberation. Guilty, first-degree murder. A sharp cry echoed from Lauren's mother, followed by tears, prayers, and silence. Zion showed no emotion as the sentence was read. Life in prison, no parole. Outside, candles flickered in a vigil held at the trail where it all ended. Flowers lined the fence. Notes, photos, memories left behind like echoes of a stolen future. Lauren's friends shared stories of her light, her warmth, and her dreams left unfinished. The trail, once haunted, now stood reclaimed by love and remembrance. The community promised her name would not fade. And for the first time since that tragic morning, peace returned, not in forgetting, but in honoring. A life taken, a monster unmasked, and justice served. The desert may always remember that scream, but now it also holds a promise: never again in silence.